Welcome to Cubs Classics, proudly presented by Premagen. It's NL Central Rivalry Week, Cubs and Cardinals. Let's head to Wrigley Field for this 2003 thriller.
We're back at Wrigley Field. It's the Cubs' final look at the St. Louis Cardinals. Stoney, what a series here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cubs come into play today just a game out of first place. The Cardinals right in front of them. Houston in first place in the Central. And after yesterday's fireworks, the first question I think everyone has is, did Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker find a way to either mend fences or come to some sort of an understanding after what took place between Dan Herron and Matt Clement yesterday?
Well, I think there's a couple things you have to understand. Number one, it's a very emotional series. Number two, you also have two guys who have been around the block a few times, in Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker. They're also two of the best managers in the game, and they're not above playing psychological games against one another. So although they were genuinely mad at one another yesterday, they both know that today is another day. They did have a meeting of the minds. They realize what this series means to both teams. I don't think you're going to find any carryover from yesterday to today, and it'll be a question of, can Sean Estes outpitch Brett Tomko? If that's the case, well, then the Cubs win. And if it's not the case, the Cubs lose. Worst case scenario, they'll win 3 of 5. And they'll accomplish what they want to accomplish when the 8 games with the Cardinals are over and the Cubs no longer see Houston and no longer see the Cardinals. One way or the other, the Cubs will still be in the race, which is what they were trying to accomplish all along.
And so the Cubs take the field behind their left-hander, Sean Estes. And this is Tony La Russa's lineup card on a cool and windy day in Chicago. Bo Hart leads off at second base. J.D. Thru hits second. In center, Jim Edmonds still with a sore knee. Albert Pujols is at first base hitting third, with Scott Rowland the cleanup man. Edgar Renteria the shortstop, with Miguel Cairo in left, Chris Widger behind the plate, So Taguchi in right field, and Brett Tomko, who struggled as mightily as Sean Estes this year pitching for St. Louis.
There you look at the numbers from Sean Estes, and the opponent's ERA at 3.09 is not a good number. Also not a good number is his hits per innings pitched. And this is his 27th start. But he realized that nothing that's happened before will affect what's happened today. And that he can go out with today as a redeemer. If he pitches a good game in a critical situation, then there's no doubt he'll continue to get starts from Dusty Baker. So he showed a lot of trust in him, sending him to the mound today. You couldn't have asked for a better day. Bright sunshine, the wind blowing straight in, the cool temperatures around Wrigley Field. And as a wonderful referee for boxing once said, let's get it on.
And let's get ready to rumble too, because Bo Hart's in the batter's box for the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, St. Louis batting with a predominant right-hand hitting lineup. That means no Tino Martinez. That means no Orlando Palmeiro. That means no Jim Edmonds in their starting lineup, but all of those guys are available off the bench, as well as Fernando Vina. So something to keep in mind as our ball game moves along here this afternoon. What an emotional start to this week, as Estes to work here in our first inning, and a quick strike to Bo Hart.
One of the reasons why Miguel Cairo is in the starting lineup, he's hit .556 lifetime against Estes. So first he deals with Hart.
He was hit .270 as the Cardinal leadoff man, and the more he's played, Steve, at times he's been exposed as a real good fastball hitter, but sometimes the breaking stuff from hard-throwing right-handers mystifies him a bit.
Well, I think he's done a great job, and in the absence of Vina, he's filled in very well. Because here's a guy with a lifetime .255 batting average in the minor leagues, a non-roster player who didn't figure he'd get a look up here. He was hitting .350 most of the time, and now he's settled back down in .270s.
Fly ball hammered left center field. Can anybody get to that? They cannot. It's high off the wall. Bo Hart on his way to second base with a sliding two-base hit to start the game. Wind or no wind, that ball was crushed. And Hart has his 10th double of the year, and J.D. Thru the hitter.
Well, Chip, you hit it right on the head when you said Hart was hitting the fastball, struggling with the breaking ball. Estes got behind, and Hart looked for a fastball. He got it down and on the inner portion, and he drove it into the gap. Lofton does a nice job on the carom, but Hart with good enough speed to coast into second base. So an ominous beginning, as now J.D. Thru will be trying to pull the ball and move Hart along.
Thru hit a grand slam here yesterday for the Cardinals. And he's playing in only his second game in about a month. He's been sidelined with an oblique strain. He hurt himself in batting practice. And a perfect bunt sends Hart to third with one man out.
With the wind blowing in, you figure that this is going to be just as the others have been. A very hard fought, very tight ball game. So Tony La Russa playing for a run early. And Thru gets the job done. Geez, this would have been a perfect day to rest Albert Pujols. I mean,
I agree.
He's played in every game. His batting average is sinking to the 360s. But Tony La Russa decided that in this just his third year, he would suck it up and put him in the lineup.
Pretty remarkable. The Cubs have held Pujols without an RBI in the series, and he has just 2 hits in 15 tries. They have pitched him very, very aggressively and effectively. And Pujols hits a high fly to left. Alou will battle the sun. He'll set up, and he can't make the play. The ball drops safely. Pujols on his way to second, and he's in safely, and the Cardinals lead by a run. Alou lost it in the sun, had no chance. It's a double, and the Cardinals lead.
Normally, when you lose a ball in the sun, it'll be in right field. And as a sage once said, when you're born in the Dominican Republic where all they have is sun, you wonder how this happens. But it does, and it goes as a 2-base hit.
He had the glasses on,
and he was shading it with his glove. So Moises Alou allowing that ball to drop. It's RBI number 115. A run would have scored anyway. Now we'll see if they can hold him here.
Rolen will dig in now. He's 3 for 18 in the series. 26 home runs, 93 driven in. 2 doubles and a sacrifice plate the first Cardinal run. There is only 1 out in the first inning. Over the inside corner, 0-2.
Rolen has always hit Estes. And you figure if you throw the sinker away or you throw the breaking ball, that Rolen's going to hit it to the left side. You hope it's on the ground, and you hope it doesn't get through.
Cubs have won 3 of the first 4 games in this series. They trail in the first here today. Cardinals led 2-0 after 1 yesterday. The Cubs came all the way back in one of the most incredible games we've seen here in a while. Trailing 6-0 on the day. They won it 8-7 here at home.
It was their biggest comeback since 1999. However, that game didn't have near the ramifications as the game did yesterday.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Scott Rolen.
Chip, the game that I remember was in a pennant race in 1989. The Cubs came back from 9 runs down against the Houston Astros. In this ballpark, they went on to win their division in '89, and that was an exciting game. And now there's lack of communication between Baco and Estes.
So with the runner at second, they'll make sure they're on the same page here. It's a 2-2 count to the Cardinal third baseman Scott Rolen. The Cardinals, after the series, I believe, take on the Reds while the Cubs are in Milwaukee. Then they've got the home and home series coming up shortly with the Houston Astros.
The Cubs are going to run into one of the hottest teams in all of baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers. They've been playing some great baseball recently.
Fisted out of play by Rolen. Over the roof, 2-2 your count.
And Chip, I know this is going to come as no surprise because a lot of Cub fans are going to venture north, but that weekend series is going to be packed in Milwaukee.
Cubs have set their pitching rotation. We'll tell you about that in a second. First, a little number to the left side, and it's a foul ball. Rolling back to the plate. Juan Cruz will go tomorrow night against Ben Sheets. Mark Pryor will go Saturday against Matt Kinney on WGN. Then Sunday, Kerry Wood will face Doug Davis. That'll be here on Fox at 1 o'clock Central Time. Two balls, 2 strikes to Rolen. Cardinals lead by a run early. And Sean had his man down 2 strikes. Now runs it full at 3-2.
You got first base open. If you want to throw a breaking ball, keep it down and away. If you want to turn over the fastball, keep it down and away, and you'll get that ground ball to the left side.
Rolen puts the bat on the ball again and stays alive here. A couple of other games are in progress. The Tigers lead Cleveland 2-0 after 5. That game at Comerica Park. Pittsburgh nothing, Florida nothing after 3 at Pro Player Stadium. Didn't get the call over the outside corner. That's ball 4. So Renteria the hitter. Renteria tied a 82-year-old Cardinal record for most runs batted in by a shortstop when he drove in his 82nd yesterday.
Bill Hahn thought that curveball was high and away, that it crossed the plate out of the zone, and so Rolen is aboard. The advantage you might have with Renteria is that he does ground into a whole lot of double plays. And by a lot, we're talking about 21 of them this year. Larry Rothschild looking out. There is some cause for concern as Estes is struggling early. With all fairness to him, there should be 2 out and only 1 on. Now there's 1 out and 2 on.
Upstairs, breaking ball didn't move for him. 1 ball, no strikes. The ramifications of that doubleheader and the extra inning game being felt today. Both runners move. The pitch high. The throw to third. High. Ramirez saved a throwing error. Runners at second and third with 1 out and a 2-0 count to Renteria.
Well, I'll tell you what should have happened. That throw should have gone to second base. The reason is that Pujols had such a tremendous jump. You might have had a shot at second. You have no shot at third. And many times a heads-up infield will go after the trailer, thinking that the guy's only running because he got the big lead. You see Rolen kind of lagging in at second, and he was crossed up on the pitch.
That pitch was so bad, Baco caught it standing up, and this will be the 4th meeting of the inning between Baco and Estes here.
Well, it's not like they haven't had a guy at second base. Hart led off with a double. Pujols doubled. Now they have Rolen at second base. It's the 3rd man they've had at second base. You shouldn't be getting crossed up on signs. And Baco did a great job of catching this one. And Bill Hahn actually called it a strike, despite the fact that he was completely obscured by Paul Baco. So nice call by the home plate umpire, Bill Hahn.
Boy, the Cubs real fortunate there. 2 balls and a strike now to Renteria. Runners at second and third. And it's way high, ball 3. 3-1. Miguel Cairo waiting on deck.
Well, rather than just lay it into Renteria here, who's hurt him, you might as well just turn it over outside.
Bases are loaded. 1 out.
Well, here comes Larry Rothschild. He wants to have a word with Estes.
Now this will be the 5th meeting of the inning.
Well, he wants to tell him, look, you can get out of the inning with Cairo. And although Cairo's just killed Estes over the course of his career at 5 for 9, here's a guy that's grounded into 4 double plays. That's a low total in 226 at bats, but you can still get out of the inning with 1 run. You can't do anything about the play in left field. That's going to happen. Get your concentration back and throw strikes. With everything missing low and in and high and away, you can't make anything happen.
So after the sacrifice, Pujols double. Rolen and Renteria walk. Bags are full of Cardinals now. 1 out for Miguel Cairo. Cairo's hitting 4 double plays. Getting the left field start today. Despite the fact the wind's been blowing in, the 2 balls the Cardinals hit traveled pretty far. So let's see if Sean can keep it on the infield here and minimize the damage. Foul back, good start. Strike 1 to Cairo.
Miguel Cairo's been a pretty good player since coming up in the Cub organization. He's made the rounds, but he usually makes contact. There's 24 strikeouts in 78 games spanning 226 at bats.
Good stop, Baco. That ball in the dirt.
Estes has made 6 wild pitches. The Cub catching has been real good in this series.
Pujols, Rolen and Renteria lead. Double play ball to short. Second for 1. Runs a lot of turns. Couldn't get his man though.
That's a real good takeout slide at second base. Alex had a bit of a problem just at the start. It forced Grzelcyk to wait around a little long. Right there, he picks it, but Renteria comes in with a clean slide, and he's able to break it up. So a run batted in for Cairo, his 26th. And you see how late the slide was and how effective it was in stopping Grzelcyk from turning a pair.
So Pujols scores the second run of the inning, and that brings up Chris Widger, the St. Louis catcher. Remember, he had a couple of hits in the early game of this series. He has but 7 runs batted in. You've got Taguchi, the right fielder, waiting on deck as Tony La Russa going with a lot of second unit players with right hand swings against Estes here early in the game. But they can't feel comfortable, Steve, after yesterday's ball game with any kind of lead. And he said that in the St. Louis papers that of all the losses he has presided over, yesterday's might have been the toughest ever considering the circumstances. The runner goes. They're going to try to steal a run here. Grzelcyk throws back to third. Safe there. Safe at second.
Well, the Cubs have played this inning not in a fashion to which you would assume a playoff contending team would play. That was defensed poorly. And the object of this one, with the runner a third of the way down, is at least take a couple of steps at the base runner. It's the third stolen base, and right here for Grzelcyk, take a couple of more steps at Cairo. Force him to make a move one way or the other. Then when Rolen breaks, you have some time. The Cardinals have been heads up. They've been aggressive, and the Cubs have failed to execute.
3 stolen bases in the inning for the Cardinals, but Widger's going to ground out, and St. Louis settles for 2 in the first. That took a while, but Estes departs trailing 2-0. Cubs coming up for the first time.
The only thing I enjoy more than beating Rick Sutcliffe at golf is beating Rick Sutcliffe at trivia.
Well, Chris, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous when Marquee Sports Network asked me to do this, but when I found out my opponent was Mark Grace, I felt like I drew a bye.
Stay safe at home and play safe at home with Chris Myers, presented by Miller Lite, Wednesday at 8.
I'm Greg. I'm 68 years old. I do motivational speaking in addition to the substitute teaching. I honestly feel that that's my calling, to give back to younger people. I think most adults will start realizing that they don't recall things as quickly as they used to, or they don't remember things as vividly as they once did. I've been taking Prevagen for about 3 years now. People say to me periodically, man, you got a memory like an elephant. It's really, really helped me tremendously.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Save big money on your next project with 11% off everything right now at Menards. Menards has what you need to start and finish your home improvement projects. Plus, you'll save 11% on all of it. Menards also offers contactless pickup. Order and pay for your items online and have one of our team members load your order into your vehicle with zero contact. Stop waiting and start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We've always had villains to face.
Bad guys to take down. But you
are the most horrible of all.
We're not here because we have to be.
We're here because we've had enough of you.
Every single one of us is mortal.
But inside of us, we're all heroes.
So stand up with us.
Stand up to fight.
Stand up to cancer.
Visit standuptocancer.org to learn more.
Every weekday night, tune into the stadium.
I never remembered a time where Jeff Bagwell or Derek Bell or Craig Biggio looked foolish swinging the bat against another major league pitcher.
You can tell He was built for this. It doesn't take long to see what kind of respect everyone has for him, and he gives it back too.
We still are making the connection, and we are still trying to show our students that we're there for them.
The Stadium, weeknights at 7 on Marquee Sports Network. Presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
Cardinals get 2 in the first, and now Brett Tomko to the mound for the first time, and this is the Cub lineup he'll face in the season wrap-up this season. Kenny Lofton leads off in center field. Mark Grudzielanek, a huge hit yesterday, hit second. Sammy Sosa's in right field. Moises Alou in left. Aramis Ramirez, the third baseman. Eric Karros is at first. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, with Baco and Estes 8th and 9th in the order.
There's a look at Brett Tomko. He does throw that fastball around 93, 94. He's got a good overhand curve. He's given up 31 home runs. He does have a straight change to go with that repertoire. His team has scored him a whole lot of runs this year. And there's a couple guys on the Cubs that have hit him very well. Alou has hit him very well. Grudzielanek has hit him very well. Lofton has hit him very well. And so it goes on, and hopefully the Cubs will be able to come back in this one. They're only down 2. That first inning could have had much more damage.
Lofton 6 for 12 lifetime against Tomko. Cardinals think he might try to bunt, and Tomko misses downstairs. Tomko and Estes, remarkably similar years, but throwing with different arms. Both lots of hits per innings pitched, lots of walks compared to their strikeout numbers. Very high ERAs. The difference is that Tomko's won 11 games because the Cardinal offense a little bit more consistent behind him than it has been for Estes.
The left-handers have really hurt Tomko. They're hitting 327. Right-handers have hit him well also at 302. So he struggled this year.
Lofton smacks that to center field. J.D. Thru broke back with the wind howling in. He'll have an easy play, and there's your first out. We'd like to welcome our affiliate Mediacom and their viewers in Sugar Grove, Illinois, to the game today, as Mark Grudzielanek faces Tomko for the first time. Mark with an 8-game hit streak, extended it yesterday with a big RBI triple in the 8th.
He drives this ball into right center. Woody Williams volunteered to come into the game after taking the loss early in the series. Well, he took another one, largely due to the heroics of Mark Grudzielanek and the rest of the Cub offense. They came on. It would have been very easy to hang their heads. Down 6 runs as they headed into the bottom of the 6th inning, and they made a remarkable, very improbable comeback.
Late strike call to Grudzielanek. He evens up the count at 1-1. Mark has hit the Cardinals hard this year, a 381 batting average. Remember, he missed a month with a broken hand. That's popped up. Wind's going to push that toward the Cardinal dugout. Will anybody have a play? High sky, and the grab made against the bricks. Widger slams into the wall. Let's see if he's all right.
Pujols made the catch, and we've been told many times, and I think this will be true. Eventually, when Albert Pujols settles down into one position, and I think that position will be first base, he will probably win a Gold Glove over there. This is a great play. Would have been almost impossible for Widger. He reaches out, but you see the glove of Albert Pujols as he keeps his concentration, knows exactly where he is, and avoids a sliding Widger, the bricks, the fans, the high sky, and what a play by Pujols.
So that'll bring up Sammy Sosa. And he drives the first pitch he sees into right. Taguchi again broke back. Now comes galloping in and makes the play. And Tomko has a rare 1-2-3. Bottom half of the first. 2-0 our score after 1. And fans can purchase tickets by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS. Visit the Cubs website at Cubs.com. You can also purchase tickets at the Wrigley Field box office. Hours at the box office Monday through Friday from 8 to 6. Saturday 9 to 4 and Sunday 9 to 4 when the Cubs are at home. So Taguchi flies to right, and that takes care of him leading off the second inning of play.
Well, Chip told you that there's a lot of availability. There's also very good seats left. So not only are there a lot of seats, but they're good ones. And as we move down closer to the playoffs, the Cubs have 2 possibilities, that of a wild card team, but more likely that of a division winner. And these games are going to be really exciting.
Be careful with Tomko, a good hitter, period, not just for a pitcher. 260 with 5 runs batted in. And so while the Cubs gear up for the stretch run, we invite you to do the same with a great selection of MLB Authentic Collection caps, jerseys, and everything else you need to enjoy the game. ShopCubs.com for all things baseball.
The Cardinal pitching staff very similar to the Cubs in that most all of them can hit real well.
Did Estes learn anything from Taco's first inning performance?
Well, probably to go right after him, because with the wind blowing in, you don't want to mess around with too many curveballs.
One good enough there to take care of Tomko. That's the 1,000th strikeout, by the way, in the career of Sean Estes.
Well, they should take that ball out of play, and he should keep it, because that is a nice milestone. We'll take a look at a good curveball. He got ahead with the fastball. That's the wipeout pitch. And now you head to the top of the order. A very pesky Bo Hart.
He doubled off the left center field wall his first time, and the fastball right through there. Strike one.
He looks a lot more aggressive this inning, so perhaps Larry Rothschild had a talk with him and said, look, you got the wind blowing in. We're not going to come get you. We got to stay out of that bullpen. You've got to go get them and stay ahead.
Another fastball foul back at 0-2. 27 pitches for Estes in the first inning. Tomko threw just 8.
Well, if he limits it this inning, and if you don't get to the Thru Pujols role in part of the batting order, you should be in pretty good shape.
One ball, 2 strikes.
The games are getting really exciting all over baseball as you look at the races.
Estes didn't get the call. He storms off the mound.
Well, I think he felt that that was a strike, and we have to harken back to a couple of days ago when Bill Hahn had the plate, and he also didn't give the outside corner.
Line down the right field line by Hart. That's into the corner. He's going to have a shot at 2 again, and he'll slide in with his second double. Estes thought he had his man struck out. Instead, Hart strikes back at him with another 2-base hit.
Bill Hahn was behind the plate in the first game of the series, and with Mark Pryor on the mound, he consistently didn't get the outside corner. Now, he was wanting a pitch over the black. He didn't get it. The pitch before was on the black. Estes didn't get it. If you know that ahead of time, then you can make adjustments. Bo Hart in 2 innings has a couple of doubles.
J.D. Thru won't be putting here. He sacrificed his first time, and that's funny. He gets the outside corner to the left-hand batter, but not the right-hand batter. Strange game. Strike 1 to Thru. The Cardinals wondering what life would be like with Thru healthy for 140 games or so. He's been on the disabled list already 6 times in his young career. He's got enormous power, enormous physical ability, a terrific hitter. Can't hit from the DL, though.
Nobody has ever questioned his ability. And you're right. His power is as good as anybody in the game, although very few people know that. We know it because we saw one that went 514 feet and hit off the scoreboard in St. Louis. That was the longest home run of the year. I mean, that's like Mark McGwire territory from the other side of the plate. And if Thru ever does stay healthy, with his physical ability, he's just one of the outstanding players in the game. Sometimes your body doesn't allow you, however, to excel. The Cardinals are hoping that's not the case with Thru.
And he was a great insurance policy for them all year. For if Jim Edmonds were to get hurt, we've seen Thru in this series play center field for him. But the Cardinals' pitching needs are so dire, one wonders whether Thru would be an attractive option for a trading partner in the offseason. A cue ball shot back to the mound. Estes, clean pick, perfect throw, and the side is retired. No runs and a hit. 1 man left for the Cardinals. They lead it 2-0 after 1.5.
As a doctor, I agree with CDC guidance. I recommend topical pain relievers first, like Salonpas Patch Large. It's powerful, FDA approved to relieve moderate pain, yet non-addictive and gentle on the body.
Salonpas, it's good medicine.
I got your back, you got mine. Think about you all the time. Together we can come through. That's what love's made of. When we can't be close, we can still be close.
Every generation has its heroes. who see past themselves and the risks and the fear to run toward the danger with courage and compassion, touching lives, saving lives, changing us all. Every generation has its heroes, and you are ours. Advocate Aurora Health.
Find the perfect gift to help Dad take comfort this Father's Day. Make Dad proud by getting premium gifts for a great price. For a limited time, get up to 20% off Buy More, Save More accessories. Or make him feel like a king with a premium bundle that gives him ultimate comfort and bragging rights. Dad deserves the royal treatment. He deserves the innovative comfort that only comes from Purple. Visit purple.com/TV or call 1-888-5-PURPLE. Make Father's Day everything it should be.
When you're home, there's nothing like enjoying a classic with a classic. Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
Introducing new Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, the first and only full prescription strength, non-steroidal, anti-inflammatory gel available over the counter. New Voltaren is powerful arthritis pain relief in a gel. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Sure.
Yeah, we all want to know, honey, so.
Blue. Blue means boy. Blue means boy.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Big cheer for Moises Alou leading off our second inning. His first career 5-hit game yesterday. He drove in 4 for the Cubs. 287 average stands Alou with 20 home runs and 17 runs batted in for 100. If he gets there, that would be the 5th time in his career he's achieved at the century mark in runs batted in.
Well, you would think he'd have a pretty good at bat against Tomko because lifetime he's hitting .417. He's also hit 3 home runs off him.
Line hard and foul off the wall by the tarp. 1-2 the count.
Moises had a big day yesterday. That coming against Russ Springer. And there were some fireworks left in his bat as he got the game-winning hit.
Well, he said he was going to have a big comeback season this year with the Cubs, and he has lived up to his word. And I think everyone has been very pleasantly surprised that not only has he been productive, but he's been able to stay in the lineup. Alou in his 133rd game played today.
Aramis Ramirez has played more, but of course a lot of them at Pittsburgh. Alex Gonzalez has tied him. This 133 for both of them. So as far as durability, they've both been terrific. And win or lose, bad day, good day, they've both shown up every day ready to play. And in the end, that's all you can ask for.
Moises played in 136 games in 2001 with Houston. The only time he played more than that was when he played in 159 of them with the Astros in '98 before he got hurt.
97 was a year he'll always remember because he was a world champion with the Florida Marlins.
3-2 count pitch. Alou pops it out of play.
Cubs would like to see a couple of things. One, they would like to see Tomko throw a few more pitches. They would like to see him walk a few people. He does have usually very good control. And if he does what he's done all year, which is give up the long ball, they'll be very happy about that.
Good at bat for Alou. Making Tomko work. I know you tell the story all the time about your days pitching for the Cubs. You lived down the street a piece. You could see inside the ballpark from your palatial penthouse apartment.
Yeah, I had a convertible studio. It was so palatial that the bathroom was outside.
Popped up. That might reach us.
That'll go out of play, I'm pretty sure.
It will. And Widger's having a close encounter with that brick wall today. That's twice.
Well, what he's saying to Pujols says, hey, look, you did such a good job on the last one. Don't leave me out here. You go get it.
Tell me when the wall's coming.
Well, the fans aren't going to let him know. He was interrupted in his pursuit of that one by the bricks. And that doesn't feel real good.
Well, if he'd been smart, he would have tried to open the gate down there where Britannia, the security guard, is sitting. Walk up a few rows and make the catch.
He'd rue Britannia.
There's your first Cub base runner, and I'm sorry I brought that up. Here's Ramirez. 1 on, nobody out. Aramis has knocked in 8 runs against the Cardinals today. This is a day where you really don't think about the home run. Just try to hit line drives and find gaps, because it's going to be very difficult to reach the seats. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to take a rising line drive or a just incredibly hard hit ball to get it out.
Well, Ramirez is one of the guys that can get it out, and as Hall of Famer Willie McCovey once told me about the wind here. He said when the big guys get it, doesn't matter which way the wind is blowing. And Ramirez is going to turn into one of those big guys. He's still just 25.
Grounded foul. Wendell Kim watches that dance behind. We will head to Milwaukee after the game. Interesting that the Cubs will be leaving right after the game today. Ordinarily, when we play the Brewers, we go up the day of the game. But tonight, we'll be resting at the team hotel and getting ready for, indeed, the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers. Line drive. There's a base hit. First of the day for the Cubs. Go-ahead run potentially comes to the plate.
Tomko has given up a lot of hits this year. Normally, if you give up 1 hit per inning, it's a .250 batting average against you. And if you don't walk guys, you're doing okay. Coming into this game, Tomko had given up 218 hits in 170 innings. So you factor in the requisite amount of walks, in his case 52. That gives him 270 base runners if you don't factor in any errors or hit batsmen in 170 innings. So if you wonder how a guy has an ERA in the mid-5s, way too many hits, too many base runners, and eventually they score.
Eric Karros gets the start. Eric at 292. 11 home runs, 31 knocked in. He's hit Tomko pretty hard. A couple of home runs in 33 at bats and 10 hits.
What you'd want to see happen, Chip, is if there's a ground ball in the infield, you want to see Ramirez go in equally hard at second base, as did Renteria when he broke up 2 and got the Cardinals a run. It was a clean slide, but he went in awfully hard. That's what you would expect in a series like this.
Out of play, foul by Karros. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Big announcement today. The National League's Pepsi Player and Pitcher of the Month, Vladimir Guerrero from the Expos. We will see them on this next road trip. And Mark Pryor of the Cubs, who went 5-0 with an .069 ERA for the month of August. Nice honor accorded both players.
I would imagine Mark, whenever and wherever he decides to build his home, might want to leave a few areas available for a trophy case, because it's going to be pretty full.
And he's going to have a dandy.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Eric Karros. Comes down a pair, but 2 on, nobody out in the second, and time granted by Bill Hahn.
A couple of other guys that were in the voting that we will see on this road trip. Javier Vazquez, Livan Hernandez, both 4-1, both with ERAs in the 1s for the month of August. Carlos Zambrano, 3-1 with an ERA in the 1s. Another honor accorded to Scott Podsednik, Pepsi Rookie of the Month for August. And Scott hit .364 with 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. And we saw him do some of that.
Pretty exciting player. Again, not that we're looking past the St. Louis game by any stretch, but you have to salute and admire the job Ned Yost and his staff with Doug Melvin Gordash up in Milwaukee. They've really got that ship turned around and heading in the right direction. It may not happen overnight, but their future a whole lot brighter now than it was a couple of seasons ago. 2-2. Line drive center field. That's in for a hit. Alou breaking back toward the bag is going to get green lighted. Here comes the relay throw to second. No play. Eric Karros drives in the first Cub run, and here we go at Wrigley. 2-1 our score.
That was a good piece of base running by Moises Alou. You have to go back to the bag because you don't know if Renteria is going to catch this ball. You don't want to get doubled up and taken out of the inning. So you head back to the bag when you realize this ball is going to be in the gap. You know you're pretty much going to score. And you see Alou heads up base running, heading back to the bag, not wanting to get doubled up, but then he realizes quickly that you can score on this one. You got Thru heading into the gap. The Cubs score the first run. They cut the lead in half. They have runners at the corners and nobody out.
Fly ball center field. That hammered pretty hard. J.D. Thru on the run now, slowing as Taguchi meets him. Tagging at third and coming home is Ramirez. Cubs make contact in a contact situation. Alex ties the game with his 54th run batted in.
Well, Alex said before the game that, look, do I want to be hitting 229? Of course not. But we're at the point of the season where nobody looks back. Everybody looks forward, and I can help this team get to the playoffs. I'm only thinking about one thing, and that is on a daily basis giving the best I have. And he delivers with a sacrifice fly, and the Cubs have tied it up.
Still only one out now with a man at first, and Paul Bacco in the batter's box. Paul's improved his hitting the last couple of times he started. We know and have lauded his work behind the plate. He calls a good game, knocks everything down. He's been a real accurate and aggressive thrower to the second base bag. He's helped shut down the opposition's running game this year.
He wants a fastball in, he'll drive it to right field. And so far Tomko is staying away. Tomko's become a pretty good fastball hitter, especially if you go middle in. The Cubs have a pretty good catching core. Defensively, both Damian Miller and Paul Bacco have been excellent.
Ball 2 from Brett Tomko.
That's a situation that Bacco wants Tomko to get in. And that is he's used a whole lot more pitches, but also he wants to be able to look fastball.
I think that was the lovely Beth Heller along with Grant DePorter. This broken bat ground ball finds Hart, and it's through his legs. On to third will go Eric Karros. And this Cardinal defense, which came into this series atop the National League, really has had big problems here. E4 puts him at the corners for Estes now.
Scott Rowland has made 3 errors in the series. He normally is very sure-handed. And what looked like 2 right at Bo Hart winds up in center field. And so the Cardinals open the door. And they open it for Sean Estes. And what you think about here is a push bunt to the right side. You've got Pujols holding Bacco at first. He's going to release if Estes does indeed bunt it. But Estes can swing the bat pretty well. We've seen him with a hit and run this year.
He's swinging and he drives that ball to deep left. Miguel Cairo, an infielder by trade, makes the catch. Karros will tag. He's going to come home, and Estes gives himself the lead. Good teams capitalize on the opposition's mistakes.
Well, you love to see the Cubs, who didn't execute in that first inning, executing here in the second inning. If you don't do it defensively, you don't hang your head because you're going to have a chance to do it offensively, and the Cubs have done it here. 2 sacrifice flies, and they capitalize on the error by Hart. So we'll take a look at Eric Karros tagging up, making sure he knows this is deep enough, and he knows that Cairo doesn't throw particularly well, and he scores easily.
And give Cairo credit, too. He knew he had no shot, threw the ball into second base to keep the force play alive with Lofton up. And he looks at the ball outside. So Sean Estes with his 3rd run batted in. As Tomko getting hit here in the second inning. 2 again, similar pitchers with similar issues working in the series wrap up today.
The man who used 8 pitches to get through the first inning has now had 29 in this inning, and that's what the Cubs want to do. Pile up the pitches for Tomko. And here comes Dave Duncan. He wants to get Tomko thinking along the same lines that Larry Rothschild felt with Sean Estes, who now finds himself with the lead for the first time today. Tomko hasn't been able to shut down the opposition too often. And even though the Cardinals scored a pair in the first inning, the Cubs have come roaring back. And Chip, when you think back to a series where you have 2 evenly matched teams with a whole lot on the line and implications for postseason, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more entertaining series than we've seen in the previous 4 and now the 5th game in this ballpark.
Well, Dave Kaplan and Tom Waddle had me on WGN radio last night, and I said flat out, these have been, to this point, the 4 best games I've seen back to back to back to back ever. I mean, for all the drama, all the intensity, it's tough to match these. A fly ball off the bat of Kenny Lofton, and the Cubs plate 3 runs in the second. Sean Estes helps himself with a sac fly and RBI. After 2, it's the Cubs by a run here at home.
Home is more important than ever. At Overstock, we're committed to delivering on all your home needs. Starting now, everything ships for free. Big or small, Overstock, where quality costs less and everything ships free.
Running a business here comes with ups and downs. The downs make you tougher. The ups keep you pushing. At Wintrust, we know what that's like because we started here too and have found a way forward. From us to you, keep going. We've got your back.
At Domino's, we think it's important to look on the bright side right now.
I finally got some toilet paper on Monday.
Almost every night, me and my family have had dinner together, which we haven't done in years.
You know, enjoying the fan with the little guy?
I really like that I can wear yoga pants every day.
And you can still get specialty chicken, stuffed cheesy bread, medium 2-topping pizzas, or any 2 or more mix and match items for just $5.99 each. So that's something else to be glad about.
I'm just glad I don't have to share with you guys.
That's the spirit.
When allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief. For 24-hour relief from your indoor and outdoor allergies, say yes to life's possibilities. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
And Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual! We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Restaurants are facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to make it through. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
You're watching Cubs Classics, presented by Prevagen, NL Central Rivalry Week. Let's get back to the action.
I'd like to hold down Albert Pujols. He was very fortunate to come up with a base hit in the first inning, but Moises lost it in the sun. Not much you can do about that. The Cubs have held down Pujols exceptionally well in this series. This is a guy that you just don't hold down too often.
Ground ball, we'll take that. Easy pickup for Mark. Pujols is retired. 1 away in our 3rd inning of play.
Well, let's hope that the second inning was a big lift for Sean Estes, who struggled in the first with his control, gave up 3 stolen bases. Now getting his concentration back. If he makes some good pitches, I think his offense against Tomko will give him a few more runs with which to work.
1 ball, no strikes to Scott Rowland. Big statistic in this series. The Cardinal defense, a cornerstone of their success, has been real leaky. They've committed 5 errors through 4 games and 2 innings today.
Somewhat surprising, Chip, because this is the #1 defense in the league, and they're still the #1 defense in the league, even with the error today. So you don't usually associate St. Louis with giving you more than 3 outs in an inning, but they've done it a couple times in this series, and it's come back to haunt them.
2-0 to Rowland. Sean pumps it right through there. And the key that we saw from Estes in the second inning. He went right after these Cardinal hitters. Did not walk people. That's what you've got to avoid against St. Louis. They will hit the ball out of the park, or it's death by 1,000 cuts or 1,000 singles. They'll put it in play pretty consistently.
Well, now if you're Scott Rowland, you're looking fastball. It'll probably be away, and he's strong enough to take advantage of it. Let's hope he hits it at somebody if it's a strike.
He took it, full count, 3-2.
That one had the outer third of the plate and was a real good pitch. Rowland's got deceptive speed for a big man.
He rolls over the top of that ball. Slowly hit to short. Alex unloads. Close play, not in time. Infield hit.
Well, we told you about the deceptive speed. And with that chopper to the left side, a good pickup by Karros, but it goes for naught. As Scott Rowland will beat the play at first. Now Rowland, one of their better base runners. 10 steals in 12 attempts, and here's where the speed comes in. Called by Eric Cooper, and he said he at least tied the throw. And it looks like there that he was actually out, but you have to slow it way down to be able to tell.
So Renteria hits again. He's the leading Cardinal double play victim this season. He walked last time up. So Rowland at first. St. Louis with 4 hits. And the Cardinals shortstop digging in. Cubs have handled him pretty well. Renteria 1 for 15 in the series. Any pattern that you've detected with Renteria that's made the difference?
He keeps hitting it at people. I mean, he's struck out more in this series, Chip, than I've ever seen him in any series I've ever seen him play. So I can't really figure it out. Maybe he's going through one of those periods, but this perennially is one of the toughest right-hand hitters to strike out in all of baseball. And we saw him in a couple of games strike out 5 times over the course of the year, in 47 strikeouts, 522 at bats.
Line to right. Sammy should have a play. Played that one nicely. 2 out.
This is why having a left-hander in your starting rotation is a pretty good thing. Now Edmonds has a sore knee. I talked with Walt Jocketty, the GM of the Cardinals, before the game, and he said he's probably going to be available to pinch hit, but we don't want to use him in the outfield. Well, you take him out, you take Tino Martinez out, and it gives you a completely different look. Today we've got Hart in the lineup, Novina. You got Cairo. You've got Taguchi. They're a good team. It's not quite as formidable against right-hand starters. When you pour all the lefties in that starting lineup, they can all run, they can all make contact, and they put a tremendous amount of pressure on you.
But they are all available late. It'd be nice to have a big lead and make some of those bats inconsequential for the 8th and 9th innings today. Vina, Edmonds, Martinez, Palmeiro, and Robinson available from the left side. The Cardinals are without Eduardo Perez for the next couple of weeks. He underwent an emergency appendectomy a day or so ago here in Chicago at Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
And Chip, against a left-handed starter, this very good Cardinal team is a .500 team. So you do have an advantage with a lefty on the mound, and that figured prominently into Dusty's decision. That and the fact that Estes is a veteran.
Cairo at RBI. His first time up, now down to his last strike in the St. Louis third. Breaking ball, didn't get the call. 3-2, so with 2 outs, Rowland with 10 steals coming into play, and 1 already today will be off to the races, and he again represents the potential tying run.
I'd like to see Karros get behind him. He's going to be off and running anyway. You might as well get a better angle on a ground ball to the right side.
3-2. Fly ball, center field. Wynn plays tricks with that. Lofted and Sosa. Sammy calls off Kenny. Good thing he never saw it. Roland gets an infield hit and is left aboard in the St. Louis third. Cubs look to add to a one-run lead.
Let Marquee Sports Network deliver fresh baseball news and analysis to you with Cubs 360 Daily. Though baseball may be on pause, we're pulling together the most knowledgeable voices coming to you daily from their home to yours.
I hope David Ross and the Cubs are able to sort of reestablish what they had in 16. And whatever was lost incrementally in 17, 18, and 19.
Cubs 360 Daily, fresh each weeknight at 7:30 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Miller Lite.
Though human ingenuity will continue to make various inventions, with the help of new machines built to do the same, of this I am certain. No invention will ever be devised that is more beautiful, more simple, and more purposeful than those that nature designs. Proud server of the most advanced machine on Earth.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Weather's perfect. Families all together.
And we switched to Geico, save money on our boat insurance.
How can it get any better than this?
Dad, I just caught a goldfish.
There's no goldfish in this lake.
Whoa.
It's pure gold. We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich!
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Join Cole Wright on the Cubs Weekly Podcast for analysis and insight on the latest Cubs news.
It's going to be a sprint instead of a distance race. There's no question about it. You've got to get your team ready and hopefully get them off to a good start.
New episodes every Tuesday on MarqueeSportsNetwork.com. Presented by Wintrust.
A new home for Cubs baseball is Marquee Sports Network.
Well, yeah, I mean, he has an opinion, I have an opinion on things. You know, what was right, what was wrong, what was enough, or whatever. I mean, it's a big series. A lot of emotions run high in this series, you know. But, I'm not proud of myself when I display that kind of action because I don't really like that person when he comes out. And I don't, and it rarely comes out unless he's provoked to come out.
And as you heard Gail Fisher say in the pregame show, as Grudzielanek beats that ball deep in the hole, Renteria has no chance. Gail reporting that Dusty Baker, a Gemini and at times the evil twin, comes to the surface. But it appears all has been settled with Dusty and Tony La Russa. They met around 11 o'clock this morning here at the ballpark, and Baker explained his side, La Russa his side, and they shook hands and went their separate ways.
Look, both these guys know what's at stake here, and they've both been through it so many times before. You let your emotions take over. Both of them also, Chip, and this fact isn't lost on their teams. They're both master psychologists. They do what they do many times for effect. I think they were both angry at one another, but in the end, it's playoff atmosphere baseball in September. You couldn't expect anything else, but two guys who have been through it a number of times, knowing that it's time to get down to business. And what a series it's been.
A strike to Sosa as Tomko came inside. Runner at first with nobody out. Cubs leading by a run. 3-2, and Sammy yanks that one foul past Wendell Kim.
Interesting story today, Chip, that before the game yesterday, Dusty was out sprinkling something around the ballpark and hasn't elaborated just exactly what it was, but he was walking out to give the Cubs a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of luck. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It could have been one of Ron Santo's old black Cub hats.
He hasn't been sporting that hat in a while.
No, I think he's finally decided that because the Cubs have never worn a black hat, that he would actually wear Cub colors on occasion. Not often. We're not asking him for much, but just on occasion. Wear the Cubby blue.
Are you intimating that Ron's heart is actually on the south side?
Well, you know, he did finish his career as a Sox player. I mean, you just have to call him as you see him, being the analyst I am. That's the final uniform he wore.
Now, did you and Ron finally clear up the confusion about his head-to-head record against Al Ravasi?
We did, and Chip, I'm the first to admit when I made a mistake. I said that he was 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts. That's not the case. He was 0 for 32 with 29 strikeouts. He grounded into 1 triple play and 2 double plays.
He made contact 3 times?
Well, he hit the ball hard, but at people, and
Sosa called out, and he argues with the first base umpire Eric Cooper, and Sammy had best be careful. We've already seen the umpires not hesitate to toss folks, and now I think they just ran him. I think they just threw Sosa out of this game. Can't argue balls and strikes, and the Cubs guilty twice now of getting themselves thrown out in critical situations. You've got to keep your cool. You can't say the magic word, whether it's Alu or Sosa. You let the manager get tossed. You let the coaches get tossed. The players have got to stay on the field.
Well, Dusty is irate, but one of the things you have to realize, Chip, and you hit it on the head, is in the playoffs, I don't care if you disagree with a call, the overwhelming aspect of it is to stay in the game. And I think you can see that the magic words and exactly what they were if you read the lips of Bill Hahn, and he said something about the parentage of Eric Cooper in some way, shape, or form, and I think that was the magic words, and he's tossed. You know, we know there's a lot of pressure. We know there's a lot of intensity. The overriding goal is stay in the game. Don't allow your personal feelings to overcome the team goal. And watch it again. Is it a good call? Who knows? Eric Cooper thought it was good enough. And then Sammy.
Well, that's the problem. He's yelling at the home plate umpire. And Bill Hahn's not the man that signaled strike. Eric Cooper is. And now Sosa has been ejected from the game. So with 1 on, 1 out, Moises Alou fouls it away.
Look, it looked like Sammy checked his swing. That's not the issue. The issue is you've already been called out. There's nothing you can do about it. And Bill Hahn is not going to allow you to make any type of reference to, in this case, Eric Cooper. That's just the way this goes. Sammy will leave, and the Cubs will have had their 3rd player thrown out in the course of a 2-week period when they're trying to get to postseason play. That's never a real good thing.
No question about it. As I said, you let the manager argue. You let the hitting coach argue. They're not the guys on the field. And the fans are going to holler and hoot. And justifiably so. They don't want to see Sosa thrown out of the game. But Sammy's been around long enough to know you can't say what he said and expect to stay in the game. Period. End of story. Runner at first, 1 strike, 1 out, and a soft fly ball hit to center. Hart on the run, Thru on the run, and Hart makes a sliding, tumbling try. Ball dropped. The play at second base is in time. Tag play. Retires Grudzielanek. He said he got in.
I think what he's saying, Chip, is he touched the bag. Now, he dropped the ball. There's no doubt about it.
It's a force play at second base.
Yes, it is.
And the question is, did he touch the leg before Grudzielanek's foot touched? And Dusty Baker's going to come out and argue this.
And Moises better just sit back and settle down. Regardless of what happened here, relax. It's over. You can't affect the call.
Again, you've got to let the non-playing uniform personnel handle the beefs with the umpires.
All Dusty wants to check on is Are you calling it a force out? Are you calling it a tag out? If you're calling it a tag out, he dropped the ball. If you're calling it a force out, well, then he was forced out. From Grudzielanic's standpoint, he couldn't tell the ball got away from Hart. It looked like Hart was going to make a good catch. By the time the ball got away from him, he was able to corral it and get it into second. We'll watch it again and slow it down for you.
Can't tell if his foot touched the bag or if the tag was there before mark. We need another angle there. Let's see here.
Well, he's standing on the bag. And I think that's the case, Chip, where you stand on the bag with the ball in possession, even if you make the tag. Now watch it. If his foot is not on the bag, he's in there.
He was safe, Stoney.
Watch it here.
He didn't touch the bag. The foot's on the bag, and there's the tag.
Well, you're right. He was safe at second, and also he didn't have control of the ball. And unfortunately, Timmons called him out before he looked for control on the part of Renteria. And the fans now are throwing things on the field. I'm not sure what this accomplishes, but we see it all the time. It's never a real smart thing to do. And so the Cubs get a couple of calls against them, and they don't appear to be real good calls.
Bad breaks are a part of baseball. You've got to overcome it. You've got to keep your cool, and you've got to just play the game. You can't change the decision of the umpire. And Moises Alou at first base. I know he's frustrated. I know he understands the magnitude of these games. But again, you've got to play with poise. And let's see if the Cubs can overcome it now here in the third inning as the grounds crew works from the left field line to right to clean up the debris thrown out by the fans in the bleachers. There'll be Alou at first, 2 men out, and Ramirez in the batter's box. Cubs do have a lead here. It's 3-2. Grudzielanik led off the inning with an infield hit. Sosa checked swing, called out on strikes. He walked back to the dugout. Bill Hahn followed him and ejected him after Sammy said something. Alou bloops a single into short center field. Or it should have been a single, I should say. Bo Hart recovered the baseball and fired to second where Grudzielanik was tagged out on a force play.
This has still been an unbelievable series. We're seeing things here that you just don't see. I mean, we're seeing plays happen and develop that you don't see very often. We're seeing tempers flare. We're seeing unusual circumstances. We're seeing guys get thrown out of the game, and yet through all of it, the Cubs have won 3 of 4, and they're ahead in this one.
Here's Ramirez. We get a lot of emails, Stoney, from fans who wonder why baseball doesn't use instant replay, for example, on calls that we have seen in this series.
Because it's a game played by fallible people and umpires who make fallible calls, and the human element is what makes it such a wonderful game.
And just as people want to criticize umpires for making mistakes, they forget the players make a lot of them themselves.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happens. Not much you can do about it. In the end, the best team over the course of 162 games wins, and you have to bear that in mind. Does a call affect the season? Very rarely. Does a guy getting thrown out affect the season? Very rarely. Everybody has injuries. Everybody has ejections. Everybody has good luck and bad luck. At the end of 162, the best team wins. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it will be.
2 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball up the middle. Hart handles a funny hop, steps on the bag. Tim Timmons makes the correct call this time at second base. The Boo Birds are out. The Cubs lead 3-2 after 3.
Where will you go first? Will it be familiar streets? Or perhaps unknown roads? Wherever you may go, Lexus will welcome you back with exceptional offers. Find a Lexus for every road at Lexus.com. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
At Domino's, we think it's important to look on the bright side right now.
I finally got some toilet paper on Monday.
Almost every night, me and my family have had dinner together, which we haven't done in years.
You know, enjoying the fam with the little guy?
I really like that I can wear yoga pants every day.
And you can still get specialty chicken, stuffed cheesy bread, medium 2-topping pizzas, or any 2 or more mix and match items for just $5.99 each. So that's something else to be glad about.
I'm just glad I don't have to share with you guys.
That's the spirit.
Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual. We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This summer, let's bring back that great American tradition called the road trip. Because right now, it's even easier to get started with up to $1,500 trade assist cash, multiple IIHS top safety picks, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So come on, America. Let's get out there again. Let's road trip. Trade up to a new Kia and rediscover America in a car or SUV that's built right. And remember, that journey starts at your local Kia dealer.
Watching Cubs Classics presented by Prevagen, NL Central Rivalry Week. Let's get back to the action.
It's Widger, Taguchi, and Tomko. Sammy Sosa ejected from the game. Troy O'Leary takes over for him in right field.
And with a long time between innings for Sean Estes, you hope that he got loose and he comes out throwing the way he threw in the second and third inning. The Cubs have the lead.
Swing and a miss. That ball eludes Paul Bacco. Throw to first is picked up by Karros, and I think Widger stepped on his foot. Eric Karros, a terrific pickup in traffic. Gets Widger at first for the first out. Let's see if he's all right.
Well, what Karros had to do, Chip, was shift into foul territory because Bacco didn't have an angle for the throw. And Bacco, then realizing it, took a step to his right with Karros shifting into foul territory, and they made the play. This ball gets away. Widger doesn't have great speed. But right now, with no angle, you see where Eric Karros has to shift, and he does get his right foot stepped on.
And I bet Eric's going to say when he comes up, look, you got the outside of the bag. Don't step on me in foul ground like that. But he appears to be all right. He'll hobble around a bit as Taguchi stands in. He fly to right, his first and only time up. Estes is throwing strike one much more consistently now.
This is a big outing for Sean Estes personally, for the team obviously, but the Cubs would love to have Sean regain his confidence and put together a solid outing. So far he's done that.
Taguchi played for the Oryx Blue Wave over in Japanese professional baseball. His teammate was Ichiro. He now stars for the American League's Seattle Mariners. This is the second year of a 3-year contract for Taguchi. The 0-2 pitch. Bounced off Eric Karros' glove and into right field. Troy O'Leary has his first chance. And Taguchi aboard in front of Brett Tomko, who handles the bat very well. Second hit of the series for the Cardinal outfielder. The other one a triple. And here's Tomko in a 3-2 Cub lead.
Taguchi gets a curveball and takes it the opposite way. So he's only had 25 at bats this year. Well, with Edmonds out of the lineup with a left-hander starting, Tony La Russa showed some confidence in it.
Tomko wants it foul. That's a strike.
And who knows about a game 163 if that's a possibility, or running into them in the playoffs, which would be an unbelievable occurrence. We could see them again here. And if the Cubs do see them, they would much prefer seeing them here.
No doubt.
We all know of the struggles in St. Louis.
No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Tomko, who's won 5 of the last 6 starts he's made. He's trailing today. That one popped up, and it is going to spin and. Oh, they say fair ball. Paul Bacco right on the line wants time and wants an explanation. He's standing right in front of the ball, and the home plate umpire says it's fair.
Now that ball was in the process of spinning foul, and you would think that Baco would know a fair foul ball. You would also think that Bill Hahn would. We'll take another look at it. And unfortunately, the Cubs get another bad break. That ball was still moving, and as soon as, in Paul Baco's estimation, this ball rolled foul, he touched it. Now watch it. Well, you certainly can't tell from that angle. So we'll take a look from this angle. Tomko gets a break anyway. He makes a bad bunt.
I guess the upset it had a fraction of the line. It's a bunt hit for Tomko, top of the order now, and Bo Hart was 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles.
Well, from the standpoint of Paul Baco, why in the world would you touch it unless it had completely cleared the line? And I'm sure that's what he felt. And that ball was still turning over. This particular series has had its share of controversial calls. Also had its share of bad calls. And its share, to be honest, of good calls.
Absolutely. If the umpiring crew has done anything but fade into the background, they have been front and center in a lot of this action over 5 games played. And the old adage comes to mind, familiarity breeds contempt.
In a lot of situations.
2-1.
Not in that situation.
Oh, okay. I was a little worried there.
No. You have to figure when you run into a team 8 games in a very short period of time that tempers are going to flare. You run into the same umpiring crew for 5 games and same thing holds true.
Bouncing ball to that hit Sean's glove. Funny hop. Second one. First is in time. Double play. The Cubs turn that. I think it's a 1-6-4-3. And that will retire the Cardinals in the 4th. That indeed is the scoring. What a game. What a series. It's been crazy. It's been fun. And the Cubs maintain their lead.
This is a payday bar. And there's only one thing you need to know about it. It has a truckload of peanuts surrounding sweet caramel. I mean, holy, look at all those peanuts. Best part is it helps you get through your day. Payday. Get to it.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Wow, you ready?
Yeah, let me just grab my wallet.
Uh-oh, I've seen this before. Wallet way too big, skinny jeans too skinny.
I'll just carry it.
Before you break something, you should know you don't actually need a wallet. With BMO Harris, you can just take cash out with your phone. Or if you need to, you can pay them with Zelle.
That works?
Yeah. You're stuck, aren't you?
Smile.
Woo! Those jeans are way too tight.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
Motorcycle riders love the open road, and Geico loves helping riders get to where they're going. So to help even more, Geico is giving new and current customers a 15% credit on their motorcycle policies with the Geico Give Back. And because we're committed for the long haul, the credit lasts your full policy term. The Geico Give Back, helping riders focus on the road ahead.
I had a husband who was my vision, but when he died, I knew I was in big trouble.
At Care.com, search for lots of local caregivers who can help with meals, housekeeping, personal care, and more. It costs less than you think, and it's easy to pay. Care.com.
how many times do you see it? A guy at first base has his foot stepped on by the catcher, leads off the next inning. That's exactly the story here. And as we predicted, Eric Karros, before he got to the batter's box, mentioned to Chris it might be a good idea to hit the other side of the bag and not my foot.
Well, especially at your current weight.
Out of play, 0-2 is your count.
Not that Widger is out of shape, but when 200+ pounds comes down on one of the puppies, it can't feel good.
That's off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Eric Karros is saying, look, I give you a big part of the bag. Now, if the same thing happens at home plate, I'm not going to step on you. So why in the world would you step on me?
Line down the left field line. No, Widger's saying, no, you're going to run me over. But, of course, the catcher is all armored up. But no harm came of it. A crazy 3rd inning. Saw the Cubs maintain their 1-run lead. They did, however, lose Sosa as he argued over a check swing 3rd strike call by first base umpire Eric Cooper.
Well, as we've seen on both sides, both players and everybody involved, temper is wearing a little thin. I'm ready to go over and take a poke at Al Rabowski myself. And I know Ronnie, who's still bitter over their head-to-head confrontations, would love nothing better than to do that.
No ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count to Karros. Ronnie is going to be heading for home a little early tonight. He'll be joining us in Milwaukee. Ronnie wants his radio listeners to know that nothing wrong, just a routine doctor's appointment. He's going to go to that at 3 o'clock, and he will be missing our trip to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Good pickup at 3rd by Roland, by the way. And that was in honor of Ron Santo's early departure today. Fine grab by Roland.
Well, just before there's a real good play at 3rd, we always key on Ron Santo, who appreciates plays like that. This hasn't been the best defensive series for Roland, but Roland is a terrific defensive player.
So Ronnie will be joining us up the road in Milwaukee.
And they're the 2 guys that went head-to-head so many times during their both long and illustrious careers.
Doesn't surprise me a bit that you would take the side of the former pitcher. Here's Alex.
Well, you know, when you're 0 for 49 against one guy, you'd have to figure he had your number. 43 strikeouts, 6 or 7 double plays, and 1 triple play in the mix.
Ronnie wore number 10, not 49 or whatever it was that Rabowski had. So it's a different number he had, I guess. Driven down the right field line by Alex. Taguchi gives chase. Wynn pushing that to the wall, and he'll leap up and take the punishment. Good play.
That was a real good play by Taguchi, who kept his concentration, knowing that the wind was pushing that ball ever closer to the stands. The big advantage, however, unlike the ivy, there's a little padding down there before you hit the bricks, and so Taguchi makes a nice play.
Inquiring minds want to know, Paul, was it fair or was it foul?
Well, I think that if Paul thought it was a fair ball, he'd have let it make 1 more revolution. Pretty much like South America.
Well, let me tell you something. If there is another bad call against the Cubs, we might see one of those here before the day is done. Two-strike pitch. And that's off the plate. 1-2.
Baca would love to keep this inning alive and bring Estes to bat, if for nothing more than to lead off the next inning with Lofton, who's always hit Tomko.
Baco under the radar among Jim Hendry's acquisitions during the offseason, but the Cubs knew they had to really upgrade their catching core over last year.
Well, Damian Miller, a great sign, and then the left-hand hitting counterpart Baco. And they've both done a real good job. What you get offensively from the catching position normally is a plus, unless you're talking about Mike Piazza, Pudge Rodriguez, some of the other good offensive catchers. Both of these guys have contributed some big hits, Their contributions come in blocking low pitches and throwing out would-be base stealers, and they've done a great job.
Ball will stay alive at 3-2.
If you pick up a walk here, you do bring Estes to bat. So that's why Paul has to be selective. Tomko does have the one walk. Again, you also allow him to pile up the pitches. And the sooner you can get in that bullpen, the better off you'll be. Tomko does have one complete game in his previous 27 starts.
And he strikes out. Tomko has his second strikeout of the game. And a 1-2-3, bottom half of our fourth.
Introducing new Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, the first and only full prescription strength non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel available over the counter. New Voltaren is powerful arthritis pain relief in a gel. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
And Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual! We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Domino's, we think it's important to look on the bright side right now.
I finally got some toilet paper on Monday.
Almost every night, me and my family have had dinner together, which we haven't done in years.
You know, enjoying the fan with the little guy?
I really like that I can wear yoga pants every day.
And you can still get specialty chicken, stuffed cheesy bread, medium 2-topping pizzas, or any 2 or more mix and match items for just $5.99 each. So that's something else to be glad about.
I'm just glad I don't have to share with you guys.
That's the spirit.
Ladies, check it out. So strong, so not ripped.
What are we talking about?
That's the Hefty Ultra Strong bag.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Give me the bag.
Get Hefty Ultra Strong at a low price.
Dr. Bob, what should I take for back pain? Before you take anything, I recommend applying topical relievers first. Salonpas Lidocaine Patch blocks pain receptors for effective non-addictive relief. Salonpas Lidocaine Patch, roll-on, or cream.
My name is April, and I am a caregiver. I've been with Nell now for 2.5 years, and I just feel like I am making a difference in her life. I know how much her family relies on me being there. It's about the bond that we form.
At care.com, you can find the senior care help your family needs. Search from lots of local caregivers with profiles, reviews, and more. It costs less than you think.
At 98 years old, she's enjoying her life.
Find the help you need. Care.com.
This is a payday bar. It has a truckload of peanuts and a caramel core that gets the job done. It's 10.5 centimeters of awesome. Unless you get the king size, which is 14.7 centimeters of, oh yeah. Payday. Get to it.
You're watching Cubs Classics, presented by Prevagen, NL Central Rivalry Week. Let's get back to the action.
It's 5th inning. J.D. Thru leads off, and Estes misses high and tight with ball 1.
I talked to Jack's son Casey, who's a scout now for the Colorado Rockies. Told him to congratulate his dad on a very successful year. And congratulations to J.D. Thru for getting out of the way of that one. That almost got the bill of his cap.
J.D. obviously stands for just duck.
Well, he did on that one, and it's a good thing.
And it's ball 3 to Thru. Estes nearly tumbled off the mound as he made that delivery. It's a dangerous prospect to put people on in front of Pujols, Roland, and Renteria.
Well, I know Thru has tremendous power. You throw the ball here on the outer third of the plate, and you hope to take your chances. You can't walk him ahead of the middle of the order.
Battles back to a full count at 3-2.
Good pitch by Estes. He used the outer third. Might not be a bad time to do it again. Force him to hit his way on if he is going to get on. If he does it, then he does it.
Had him off balance, and he fought it off just well enough to keep the at-bat alive. Detroit polished off Cleveland today. That one final, a 2-1 score. Tigers win it. Baltimore leads Oakland 4-0 after 2 innings of play.
The Tigers trying to avoid the dubious record of 120 losses accomplished by the 62 New York Mets. They have 102 of them.
Well, they won for the third time in a row today. Thru lines that, and it's over Alex's glove. He does indeed hit his way aboard, and Thru's done a lot of damage in a minimum of at-bats against the Cubs.
And Jim Abbott was one of the great stories in the history of baseball.
Pujols drives that out of play for a strike.
Abbott out of the University of Michigan had some great years. He was a terrific pitcher.
Born without a right hand through a no-hitter in Major League Baseball. Fisted into shallow right. That's a real tough play, and no one's going to be able to make it. A bloop single for Pujols, and now the Cardinals have runners at the corners with nobody out. Gonzalez playing toward the second base bag had absolutely no chance. Pujols couldn't have placed the ball in a better spot. And now Rolen hits with men at first and third.
When you're the league's leading hitter, you get a lot of these, as well as a lot of real hard hit balls. And Albert came in with a 9-point lead over Helton of Colorado. He'll improve on that with his 2 for 3 today. The Cubs at this point will gladly trade the double play, give up the run, and try to stay out of the big inning if Rolen can hit the ball on the ground.
Well, at one point, Sean led the league in double play ground balls induced. He's got one of them so far in today's game.
Rolen's grounded into 16 of them this year.
3-2 Cubs lead. We're in the fifth. Sean trying to win for the first time since July 27th when he beat Houston. And this would be a huge lift if he could get it. Inside corner open, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rolen thought that was too tight. He shakes his head.
Well, they all look like good calls when they're going your way. When they're not, they look like not so good calls.
Big strikeout.
Sean Estes probably his best fastball of the day because he was ahead of Rolen. And like so many of his counterparts in the starting rotation, he goes up and out of the strike zone. If you get ahead of hitters and you can throw the ball there, you're usually going to be in pretty good shape. But the key is you have to be ahead. And it started with Pryor and Woody. It went to Zambrano and Clement, who are sinker ballers, but they go up and out of the strike zone with 2 strikes, and it works out real well.
Again, you hope Renteria will oblige with yet another double play ball. He leads the Cardinal hitters in that dubious distinction.
He does have 6 sacrifice flies, however. He's trying to get to 100 runs batted in.
1 ball, 1 strike. Doc Levan, the last Cardinal shortstop to drive in as many runs as Renteria in a single season. That was in 1921. And they've had some great ones in St. Louis. Gary Templeton, Ozzie Smith. You can go farther back than that with even bigger names.
Marty Marion.
2 balls and a strike to Renteria.
Now this is where it really helps for the middle infielders to know what Estes is going to throw, and that's why you always alert them to the set of signs. Because if it's going to be a fastball away, you figure he's going to hit it up the middle or to the right side. If you go with a breaking ball, and it is the fastball, a breaking ball or something inside then you can shift a step and expect him to pull it. You would think Estes was use the outer third of the plate. And with that in mind, they're playing him exactly straight away in the infield and the outfield.
3-1 pitch. They are again loaded for St. Louis. Miguel Cairo, the hitter. He bounced into a force play. That drove in a run. He's also flied out to right. Estes now with 3 walks, and it's his first since the first inning of play.
Here comes Larry Rothschild, and a few words of confidence as Estes has reached the 97 pitch mark. He's talking about how they want to attack Miguel Cairo. The reason I stress attack is you don't want to fall behind and then allow him to guess fastball.
So the bag's full of Cardinals. Thru is at third. Pujols is at second. Renteria at first. All 3 of those guys run pretty well, and Cairo the hitter. Ball 1, no place to put it. Fly ball, shallow center. Who's going to make this grab? It's going to be dropped. Out at second, and a run is in. Grudzelanic and Lofton miscommunicate, and that ties the game. That's 2 drop balls in the outfield today.
There goes a force out at second as the Cubs have given the Cardinals way too much. The game is tied. They do get the force out, but it costs them a run, and we'll watch it again. Nobody taking control here as the ball drifts away, with Lofton thinking it's Grudzelanic, Grudzelanic thinking it's Lofton. The play is Lofton's to make. He doesn't make it, but they do get the force out at second.
So Miguel Cairo with 2 real odd RBIs today.
Well, you don't see many 8-6 runs batted in. But see it we did, and this series continues its odds, twists, and turns. To this point, with nothing to choose from between these teams, it's been a terribly played game by the Cubs.
It should be a 3-2 Cub lead with 2 outs and the bag's full. Instead, it's tied at 3, 2 outs, with men at first and third for St. Louis, and the catcher Widger up. He drives that foul down the right field line and out of play.
You get out of this inning and you keep the score tied at 3 and turn it over to the offense. Estes is going to lead it off, and then it's going to be back to the top with Lofton. Doesn't appear that anybody in the outfield is seeing the ball real well today. High sky, no clouds at all. And Estes trying to get out of this inning with no further damage.
Two strikes to Widger.
Well, I will suggest one thing that Sean Estes might bear in mind for future starts. Don't walk off the mound after a pitch. You just might not get the call, and umpires just don't appreciate that a whole lot.
He's done that a couple of times. We have noticed too, when he goes to moisten the fingers, they've made him step off the mound to do that too. He could have used a little extra grip there. That one nearly to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Chris Widger.
Because Widger doesn't run real well, you want to make it happen 2-2. At least you'll keep Cairo at first. If you get it to 3-2, where he gets a chance to run, he will take the force out of the equation. Let's see if he can get this curveball by him.
He's not getting the call, and now the home plate umpire has about had enough. Bill Hahn is telling Estes, look, you're not going to get the corner. He's called it consistently out there, and now Hahn with a word to Estes.
And what he's saying is it curved around the plate. Whether you think from the mound it's a ball or a strike, make the pitch, stay on the mound, and normally the umpire lets you know when the inning is over.
Runner at first. Cairo was off with the pitch. And the count remains full as we've reached the 3 o'clock hour here in Chicago. 3-3 our score, Cubs and Cardinals. Crowd on its feet again. Line, fair ball, left field corner. Pujols will score. Cairo around second, on his way to third. Oquendo will wave him around. Relay throw is going to be cut off. So the strike three that the Cubs don't get turns into an RBI double for Chris Widger, who's had a big series here in Chicago. And the Cardinals turn the game around. They lead it now 5-3.
And now Estes is having a word with Bill Hahn as that curveball was driven down the line. No doubt about the fact that it was a fair ball as it rattles around. And because you go to 3-2, that allows Cairo to get a running start, which allows him to then score. The Cubs trail by a pair.
And Taguchi, the hitter, with a man in scoring position. Todd Wellmeyer is going to grab a baseball and start to work here in our 5th inning of play. This thing's not over by a long shot, folks.
Eventually the Cubs will get in the very vulnerable Cardinal bullpen. And they only lead by 2. A lot worse yesterday.
He went around. All 3 to So Taguchi.
You have to be careful here because you got first base open and the pitcher due up next.
He's a good hitting pitcher in Tomko. Rolled to the shortstop. Alex charges in between hop. Fast runner retired. And so is St. Louis. Estes surrenders the 3 runs in the 5th inning and the lead. 5-3 your score.
The only thing I enjoy more than beating Rick Sutcliffe at golf is beating Rick Sutcliffe at trivia.
Well, Chris, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous when Marquee Sports Network asked me to do this, but when I found out my opponent was Mark Grace, I felt like I drew a bye.
Stay safe at home and play safe at home with Chris Myers, presented by Miller Lite, Wednesday at 8.
Weather's perfect. Family's all together.
And we switched to Geico, save money on our boat insurance.
How can it get any better than this?
Dad, I just caught a goldfish.
There's no goldfish in this lake.
Whoa.
It's pure gold. We're gonna be rich. We're gonna be rich!
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
I had kind of given up hope. I wasn't going to spend $12,000 on hair plugs. But I tried this, and it was great, and I've never looked back.
I brush my teeth in the morning. I had braces when I was a child. We take care of other parts of our body. You can take care of your hairline. It's okay.
I mean, I'm just grateful that the products work so well, that they're so convenient, and that I don't have to stress out about losing my hair anymore.
Don't wait until you lose more hair. Go to forhims.com right now.
Sport has the power to unite. It has the power to build communities. It has the power to break down barriers and allow people to feel as though they're on equal footing with one another. We at Cubs Charities have the ability to do some critical work right now, utilizing the power that sports has in building community, in inspiring hope, and uniting a city.
Bill Hahn walks over to the Cub dugout and says no more, and the man he ejected was Cub pitching coach Larry Rothschild, who really was complaining about Bill Hahn's lack of calling strikes on the Estes curveball, and the frustration reached the boiling point when the Cubs thought they had. Widger struck out, and instead he lines a double down the left field line.
Well, Larry Rothschild very unhappy that you can't get any curveballs called on the outside corner. That's been consistent. Estes has made some good pitches. Bill Hahn has had problems with the curveball, not only in this game, but in the prior game when he walked 3. So we know you can't argue balls and strikes. You get real frustrated. Sean Estes was frustrated. Larry very frustrated. If you don't go walking over toward the dugout, however, you probably are not going to hear any of that stuff. Now, Bill Hahn is a veteran. He's been around a long time. He has lost control of this game, and that you really don't like to see, because now you insert yourself in the outcome of what is a huge game for both teams.
No doubt about it. Satchel Paige used to say, don't trouble trouble. And Hahn did as he walked after the half inning over toward the Cub dugout, and they let him hear it, and he ran Larry Rothschild. So here we go to the 5th. Cubs down by a 5-3 score. Goodwin, Lofton, and Grunzelanek up against Brett Tomko.
Looks like Wellmeyer will come into the game.
Five innings, 9 hits, 5 runs for Estes earned. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Sosa ejected. Rothschild ejected. Estes will be taken down, and Wellmeyer will be the first man out of the Cub pen today. Line drive down the right field line. That's going to drop in for at least 1. Taguchi kicks that ball around in the corner, and Goodwin in at second with a leadoff double. This is something.
Well, that's going to be 2 bases. Whether Taguchi catches this ball or not, Goodwin's going to wind up at second base. There's a lot of drama left in this one before it's over, and eventually the Cardinals are going to have to go down there, which is the bullpen. Tom Goodwin leads it off with a double, and now it's back to the top with Kenny Lofton as the Cubs, who fell behind 2-0, only to take the lead 3-2, have fallen behind 5-3 with a long way to go.
Famous broadcaster I used to work with used to say that a lot. You have to go down there, you know. He's now in Seattle. That ball's now in left field, a base hit. Cairo charges, and the Cubs wisely play it safe. First and third now with nobody out. 2 straight hits. And here comes Grunzelanek.
Now, Tony La Russa doesn't want to go to get Tomko quite yet. But the Cubs have hit the ball fairly well against him. They now have the middle of the order due up with runners at the corners and nobody out.
Grunzelanek, an infield hit last time up. He's also popped out to first. Cardinals will trade the run for the double play ball if they can get it. Let's see if Mark can split a gap and chase Lofton home. Goodwin, great speed over at third. Kenny not moving, and the pitch low.
Well, the optimistic guys on the scoreboard have the Cubs with 6 hits. That will be accomplished if Grzelcyk gets one here. It has not been accomplished yet.
Ramirez, Karros, Grzelcyk, Goodwin, and now Lofton. The only hits.
Now you can run on the combination of Tomko and Widger. Although 2 runs down, it would be a bit of a gamble. They've got their best base runner on at first base. Lofton has swiped 29 of them. 11 out of 13 as a Cub.
1 ball, no strikes. Lofton's running. Good jump. Ground ball, fair left field. 1 run in. Lofton's going to get the green light. He's going to score. The game's going to be tied. Grzelcyk with a game-tying triple yesterday. Doubles home 2. 3 straight hits, and the Cubs are back even at 5.
Well, in essence, the hit and run pays off because with Lofton running, Grzelcyk is now driven in 25. And we've got a brand new ball game here in Chicago as the Cubs pound away at Brett Tomko. No chance for Rolen. And Dave Duncan coming out to talk with Tomko, who's faced 3 hitters, has given up 3 ringing hits. And it's just as if we were going to start this one from the beginning here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So Charlie Ramsell from Rensselaer, Indiana, a big winner as the Cubs have played it a pair. And for all you conspiracy theorists out there, forget about it. The team that hits better and pitches better and fields better is going to win today. Nothing the umpires do is going to change that. There's still way too much baseball to be played. And if you're going to sit and complain about what the umps do or don't do, you're going to lose sight of the fact that you got a pretty good team you got to beat in either dugout today. So another chance for the Cubs to grab a lead. Troy O'Leary batting for the first time, as Sosa ejected in the 3rd. It's Tomko's game. I mean, both bullpens, frankly, Steve, are exhausted.
Well, that's true, and Sean Estes can still win this game as O'Leary tries to hit the ball to the right side.
He pushes a bunt down. Nicely done. Grzelcyk to 3rd with 1 out. O'Leary with a rare sacrifice.
And when all is said and done with this one, the line of Sean Estes isn't going to look too good, but he actually threw the ball much better than his line will indicate. He had pretty good velocity. He did have a good curveball. He got absolutely none of them called on the outside corner, and his defense let him down a couple of times. So if the Cubs take the lead here and the Cardinals are forced to come in at all 4 positions, Sean Estes will be the pitcher of record. Both bullpens now up and going.
5-5. Go ahead run 90 feet away for Alou, who's walked, and it bounced into a forced play. That's yanked foul. That might be why the scoreboard operators have given Alou. Maybe they gave him a base hit on the bloop on the play that Hart made, but they can't do that because they got a forced second. So it's a force out, not a hit. And Josh Pierce, the youngster just called up from the minor leagues, up for St. Louis. Line left field, that ball hammered. Cairo can't get it. Cubs have the lead. Alou on his way to second. He torches him again.
Moises Alou 5 for 5 yesterday. Drives this ball into left field. You throw the ball thigh high middle in when he's in a streak like he is now, and you've got almost 0 chance of getting him out. Now Pujols is going out. He wants to kill a little time for the bullpen. I don't know how many more guys Tony La Russa wants to see Tomko face. But the Cubs would like to see him face a few more.
And it's really the law of diminishing returns for the Cardinals right now. Bernie Miklasz, the writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, said it best. People yesterday in St. Louis were really scratching their heads over moves both managers made. But Miklasz put the onus squarely where it should be. It's a case of there's not a whole lot left on the cupboard after what turned out to be almost a triple header 2 days ago.
Well, that's what Tony did. Tony sent Pujols out to the mound to say, look, kill as much time as you can. I got to get a few more pitches for my bullpen. He didn't want to see Tomko throw any more pitches to the Cub hitters. And so he's going to make, I believe, a double switch here. As one of the most entertaining series in recent memory continues to amaze just about everybody.
So Tomko will depart. Josh Pierce will come in. Cubs have regained the lead. 6-5, still a long way to go here at Wrigley Field, and that man could win with a little help from his pen.
Josh Pierce comes into the game, and Orlando Palmeiro checks in right field in the flip-flop batting order. That's the numbers in Memphis at AAA. This is his second stint with the Cardinals. And a big overhand curveball. And not an overpowering fastball.
1 strike.
I think Widger got hit on the recoil that time. And that can't feel real good.
Well, that's for stepping on Eric Karros' foot. So there, everything's even.
Ramirez following up his swing. Got him with the bat.
One strike to Ramirez. Alou at second. Got a big swing and a miss at 0-2.
Pierce was recalled from AAA prior to Tuesday's doubleheader. He appeared in 2 games in his last stint. ERA at 4.50. And his last major league outing, August 2nd.
Thomas laid off that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I can't remember 5 better games than what we've seen. And I'm not talking about artistic games. I'm talking about emotion, the ebb, the flow, the moves, the counter moves, the reaction of the crowd. I mean, these have been everything we thought and hoped they would be. 1-2 to Ramirez. And he protects the plate.
There's very few series that can live up to the hype that the series has before the fact. We knew that after the 3 in St. Louis, where the Cubs lost 2 of 3, that they would eventually have to come back here for 5 big games in 4 days. That's an unbelievable series, and the Cubs have a chance to take 4 of 5.
1-2. Line drive, softly hit to left field. That ball is going to be caught out there in left. Good play by Miguel Cairo. Ramirez flies out. Eric Karros will hit.
It's a particularly good play when you consider that Cairo was raised as a middle infielder. He comes on and makes the play. Fielders have taken to diving. And he caught the ball well before the slide. It certainly was effective. And that's a big run out at second base. In the person of Moises Alou, who's now driven an 84 for the year.
Swing and a miss. So it's going to become a battle of the bullpens. A turnabout fair play. The Cub pen had some problems in St. Louis. The St. Louis pen having trouble here in Chicago. One and one.
Both of these teams will come out battered and bruised from this series. And the Cubs have to go and play the hottest team in the National League, the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right through there. 1-2 the count. Cubs have taken the lead. Two and two. Karros with an RBI single back in the second inning. Looks to drive in another man here. Foul again past Wendell Kim, who's been very busy this series. Florida beats Pittsburgh 5-1 the final score. The Marlins and Phillies have opened up some room in the wild card race. Those two teams now 3 games ahead of the rest of the league. Actually Florida a half game ahead of the Phillies pending play later.
Last night I watched Los Angeles and Houston. Kevin Brown got hit early. Houston came back late. And Houston defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are having all kinds of offensive woes.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that'll retire the side. So Pierce comes on, does a nice job. Stops the bleeding in the 5th. But the Cubs answer the Cardinals. They get 3 themselves and take the lead right back after 5.
I am Robert Strickler. I've been involved in communications in the media for 45 years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy, mow with an attitude.
This is a payday bar, and there's only one thing you need to know about it. It has a truckload of peanuts surrounding sweet caramel. I mean, holy, look at all those peanuts. Best part is it helps you get through your day. Payday. Get to it.
Don't waste your time and money at the chain store. They got the best auto parts. Brake parts, suspension parts, and dealer parts too. The website's so easy to use. The lowest prices and fast delivery too. All the parts your car will ever need. All the savvy folks are buying parts at rockauto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
At Domino's, we think it's important to look on the bright side right now.
I finally got some toilet paper on Monday.
Almost every night, me and my family have had dinner together, which we haven't done in years.
You know, enjoying the fam with the little guy?
I really like that I can wear yoga pants every day.
And you can still